Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How you doing, my beautiful people? Hello. Welcome. Dudes, it's so good to see you again. We're doing some super cool stuff here. We're going to be talking to Emerson College about growing and monetizing new media. So join me for that. Let's see. Answer call. Hello.
Hi, Devin.
Hey, I can see you. Amazing. Hey. Amazing.
Awesome.
You guys have to stop gnoming me right now, okay? Like, we're live. We have to respect it. It's a college, okay? Like, we're live. We have to respect it. It's a college, okay? Okay, so I get, like, double audio back to you guys. Okay, so I get, like, double audio back to you guys.
I'm hearing that too. We're working on it.
Working on it, okay.
Yeah, I'll mute the stream.
Yeah. That'd be the ticket. Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right. Hi, everyone. Oh yeah, there's like a slight delay, so that'll be fun. But that's literally physics, so we can't screw with that. So if I have like an abnormal amount of time where I don't talk or I do talk, that's what that is. It's like a 2-second delay. So how is everybody doing? How many people are there?
We have about 20.
Okay, that's really exciting. So this is really exciting because, to my knowledge, I'm not sure that something like this has ever happened where somebody has actually like talked directly to a university from a stream. It's a pretty neat idea.
Yeah, this is super cool.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for setting it up and actually making this possible.
No problem.
So like, can you give me like I hope my notes and everything I prepped for today, they like work with the class. Like, so basically, like, what are you guys learning right now? Like, what's going on? I actually prepared. I'm not just asking to fish. I actually have, yeah.
Yeah, totally. So the students are all learning how to run their own streams this semester. Most of them have never done this before. And so we're literally walking through the basics. So starting actually this weekend, right? Y'all are going to start going live for the first time. So we've been walking through the basics of like, what is Twitch? How does it work? How do people make money off of it? And then, introducing them to the basic kind of software and technological specs that they need to get up and running. And then also talking about kind of the industry as a whole throughout the semester.
That's insane. My chat thinks that's amazing. I think it's amazing too. So it's like the fact that colleges are doing this is so cool. And you're enabled, the Twitch student help with this, right? Is Garvey and Kevin?
Yeah.
Amazing people. So I hope they kind of like send me out to more things like this. But it's incredibly prestigious to talk to Emerson. Originally they were like, we want you to fly there. And I was like, that's a long way, dude. I was like, because I'm up in Seattle and I just didn't, it was just a really long way. So the fact that I could do this here, it's really cool. The fact that you guys are learning streaming in school, well, I hate to do this before I even introduce myself. Like when I was your age, like, dude, I had to learn like dumb stuff like business in school and things like not real business, but like this is real business. All right. Okay, so should I just start talking? I have my whole thing.
Go for it.
Cool. Okay, I think we should start by like understanding media and why Twitch and YouTube actually matters, right? But first, I guess you should learn why I matter in telling you that. So I guess I'll do like a brief introduction because I'm not so pretentious to assume everybody knows who I am, right? So my name is Devin Nash. Let's see. I started streaming in 2012. And during that time, I played a game that was absolutely the most positive community ever, a game called League of Legends. All right. And that game, so before that, I had been super lazy and I played like MMOs all day for like 16 hours a day. And I was like, I should probably do something different than this. So I read a bunch of like self-help books, like really cheesy self-help books on like how to get better. And it actually worked like amazingly. And like I like learned about all this like personal development stuff, and so I took that knowledge and I made a stream about how to not be toxic in League of Legends, and it worked. It was like we like talked about it and we would get better, and from that someone had noticed me, a guy named Alberto is Crumbs on Team Dignitas, and he was like, man, this is really cool. You could apply these concepts to our players. So I transitioned to Team Dignitas as the first ever player development coach. And from there, I worked pretty hard, and I got to regional manager of North America. I was running all the North American teams with a dude named Odie. And after that, got an invite to join a company that some of you may know, I hope, called Counterlogic Gaming. And Counterlogic Gaming is a premier esports team in North America. So I joined that as CEO and ran that for 3 years until we sold last year to Madison Square Garden. And once we got done with that, I came over here. What I currently do is I'm the chief marketing officer of a company called Nerd Fusion. We are the number one in my opinion, but number two if you want to look at the stats, talent agency on Twitch and YouTube. We run the best talent, objectively true. Ask anybody. And we are a data analytics company that sells Twitch and YouTube information to Amazon and people that are interested in it. So that's the kind of stuff I do. And also I stream, obviously. So I stream every day. I run a focused talk show. Most people, I think, when they broadcast, they do like, they just kind of like sit around and play video games because they don't know what else to do. But we do like a pretty focused show on like industry and like news and stuff like this going on. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's great.
Neat. Okay, so with that context, right, let's talk about Twitch and YouTube and how neat it is. And we'll start by like understanding media, I think. It is really important to understand the story of media to kind of get that. I promise it won't be boring because I think it's like pretty cool. So what media started via voice, right? The first way that we communicated with each other is we told stories. And that was fallible because it was dependent on memory. So like people told stories around campfires and passed down traditions and usually stuff that was passed down in tradition. If you've ever told your friend and then somebody else told their friend and somebody else told their friend, you lose it. So it wasn't that great. And it wasn't really great for most of human history up until we started to write, which began as books, right? And books were super hard to write because only really few powerful people knew how to read and write. And a book had to be copied. You couldn't just make another one. You had to literally write out the whole book again. So it's super expensive to do. But books and written word changed literally everything, right? Because we moved from a civilization that only told stories through... sorry, I got gnomed. When that happens, I'm getting subbed. Like people are subscribing, and it sends this sound to me. I have to mute that or lower it, or I'm going to lose my train of thought. Thank you, chat, though. I swear, thank you. Okay. So books are super good, okay? Because basically what happens is we're able to store human history across multiple generations, which is insane. And this becomes basically a ability of the rich and powerful up until Gutenberg, right? And the printing press, which I think unlocked a insane revolution and led to massive literacy around the world. And now human beings can hold on to information in a totally different way. And the argument I'm going to present today and kind of the tactics I'm going to give you is why YouTube and Twitch, in my opinion, is actually a Gutenberg type invention. Because from Gutenberg, we moved from the printing press, we moved to radio. And now people can actually hear things and broadcast ideas to many people at once. And in television, we had highly produced and scripted content that can be broadcasted to many people at once. But YouTube was really the pioneering factor of now anybody with fairly decent low-cost technology can reproduce the effects of radio and television potentially to millions of people, whether it be like a cat video that gets like 6 million views or something like this, right? And Twitch took that a step further by making that process iterative and live with interaction. So I can, if I say something stupid, now it doesn't take a couple hours for me to know that. It takes literally 2 seconds because my Twitch chat's going to spam it at me, right? So we don't totally understand the power of this, I think, yet, or the implications of it, and what exactly this all means. So we're kind of all just sort of like piloting ourselves through space, not really sure like what the implications of these things are. And I see broadcasters with 20,000 viewers playing Rock Simulator, right? Which is a game where you play as a rock, and that's it. That's the whole thing. You got it. Like that's what you do. So what are the implications of that? Like, what if that person tells those people to go vote or something? Like, right? Like, what happens when we have these thousands of people under what I would call, like the traditional word is influencers, right? Which are kind of full circle back to the sort of oratory nature of civilization that we started with, right? Where we have these tribal leaders. Influencers are basically people that you know, like, and trust, who will recommend you to do certain actions or buy certain products and services based on what they like, hopefully, or what they're getting paid to do. And so at Nerd Fusion, we crunch tons of numbers about this, and I can tell you that influencer marketing is more powerful than anything else. And I've been marketing since the old days of ebooks in 2012, like doing one-page Google advertisements for like medical books that I wrote with like a doctor that I paid some money to at an urgent care, right? And like put those up. So if you look at like the way that I did that kind of advertising, which is like pay-per-click, where you pay Facebook to run ads, that has just no comparison to the level of engagement and conversion that I will get if I tell my Twitch chat right now to buy something that I really believe in. Because some of these people have been watching me for 4 or 5 years, right? Meaning that they've seen me grow up, literally, and I've seen them grow up. I know many of them by name. I've met several of them in real life, and I talk to most of them on the regular and consider a huge percentage of them like actually close friends. As in, like, if I was screwed and out of money, I would call them and crash on their couch, and I'm sure it would be fine. Right? That's great. So far, is this talk super stupid, or is it really good?
No, this is great.
Excellent. Okay, cool beans. All right, we're gonna keep going. So I think it's important that when you look at Twitch, you kind of understand like what the power of the medium is, right? It's like television gated normal people from being able to utilize it. If you wanted to be on television, you had to go through this like really complex process of like being in Hollywood or something. I don't know what it involved. It was dramatic. And if you want to be on Twitch, you literally have to download a program and hit the start streaming button. And then if you're doing something interesting, you can be in front of a huge amount of people in a very short time. And there's a concept also that I think everybody's like sort of intuitively familiar with, but maybe hasn't exactly thought through, and that's a concept of virality, right? So virality is this kind of new thing that came along with YouTube and Twitch, which is like if you create something that's really interesting, because of the shareable nature of social media, it can go out to a huge percentage of people, and all of a sudden you can. And with Twitch, I've seen broadcasts. One of them was like, I think the one that imprinted on my mind most notably was like, this farmer set up this stream to watch like ducklings hatch. They had like these eggs, and like they just watched the eggs hatch. And this was immediately this like huge deal. And like thousands of people just showed up immediately. Like they just talked to each other, and they came in and they saw they wanted to watch the ducks hatch. And there's been like a bunch of things like that on Twitch where it's like, oh wow, we've bypassed all of the traditional means of gatekeeping us away from having a voice, and we're now on this like really what would be the word, sort of uncharted territory. What the hell are the implications of that? Like nobody really knows. Twitch definitely doesn't know, right? That's why they're having tons of problems with enforcement and trust and safety and trying to figure out like what's okay to broadcast. Like all of this is, and there's no one helping us, right? The law can't help us. They're years behind. So Twitch and YouTube are literally pioneering the future of communication at a breakneck speed. And all of us are along for the ride. All of you are along for the ride. And no one knows what the hell is going on. And it could most certainly lead to our absolute destruction or our enlightenment. I have no idea. But so that's the preface. That's what you're dealing with, right? And to me, being on the edge of that reality is insanely exciting. So I want to talk about Twitch and YouTube because that's what I'm actually here to do, right? And sort of give you guys some sort of tactical overview of how I look at it, and if you are going to be starting streams, like what you might want to accomplish and what you might want to keep in mind. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
All right. So I would say at first, right, the number one thing that I think about when I'm running a broadcast is, am I going to do something that is really truly different from other people? And how's that going to shake out, right? So if you look at like someone like Shroud or someone like someone like Shroud, who's like an FPS gamer on Twitch, he's just the best at what he does. I think we think he's like a government experiment that escaped or something. Like he's so good at FPS, at every FPS, that it's just ridiculous. It's like insane to imagine how good he is. You look at someone like Dr. Disrespect, who's another really big personality on the platform, and he just has this like really unique character that people are endeared to. So if you look at me, my opinion is that I literally run the best industry show on Twitch, and it's just uncontestable. There's nobody that does this like I do. And so what is that edge that will, and that if you just do that alone, then you're just like, okay, you just zone out of this talk and play StarCraft or something like I did in college. Like then if you just get that, you're good, right? But there's more. Okay. The other concept I would think about once you have that down is how big do you want to be, right? And we're going to go through all the monetization models of like how this actually works. But I would say there's two concepts that I think would be great here. So the first concept is one called 1,000 True Fans. This is an article that's written by KT Rolster. So the way that it works is actually they're watching my stream right now, right? The audio's just muted?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I could actually, I could do the same stuff that I teach with my stream. Hang on. Okay, so we're going to transition over here. And we're going to go to my infamous notepad. All right? So let's say that you have 1,000 fans. This is probably not going to update in real time. All right. Each fan gets you $100. All right? Per year. So the yearly value, everyone's very excited about we're literally in a class now. I'm like in a class now. I have like a board and everything. This is so cool. Oh my God. The yearly value of the customer is $100, let's assume. Okay, that's actually all we need. So, college friends. So how much money would this individual person be earning? If the yearly value of a customer is $100 and they have 1,000 fans, how much is it? Did anybody get it?
What'd you?
I'm asking you, college.
Asking you.
It's your class. Yeah. Twitch chat knows.
100,000.
Okay. All right. So it's $100,000 a year. So that's not that bad, is it? As an influencer, if you're making $100K a year and you get because all of your customers are worth $100 and you only have 1,000 fans, that's $100,000 a year, which is full-time income in most places, unless you live like me in Seattle, then it's not. But in most places it is. Okay. So the point here is and this is basically what this article is about, by KT Rolster. The point is, and we can like pull it up real quick. So the point is, do you need to be a multi-million followed person with tons of people on your Instagram being showered with praise everywhere you go, right? It's a thought process that you actually have to go through, because when I shake it out, would you rather have 10,000 customers who don't give you anything, or would you rather have 50 customers but every single one of them is let's say the top 50 tech CEOs? Okay, and so there's a word for this. It's called a micro-influencer. A micro-influencer is a person who has agency over a niche group of people who might have like some kind of influence themselves. So if I have 50 people in my network, but every one of them, they're watching my stream on my YouTube channel, but every one of them is the marketing director and has a $400 million budget through a Fortune 500, that's pretty great. Yeah. So one of the really like encouraging things about streaming is I think a lot of people think, well, I need to be Soda Poppin or XQC, I need to be these massive influencers. But you don't have to be that. You can actually set a goal to, and by the way, this is like a really good concept for like anything in life. If you want to be an artist or you want to do anything creative, which there's probably people in the class that want to do it, I think this is a really pertinent concept, because you don't have to be like, I listen to like heavy metals. You don't have to be Metallica, right? To like really succeed. There are a lot of ways to do this if you figure out how to monetize your audience correctly. So that leads us into how do you monetize your audience correctly, which is something interesting to everybody because I assume most people here like money, right? So we can talk about that next, right? But yes, I know Metallica isn't heavy metal. I'm trying to like identify with them, okay? All right. If I bust out like my Blind Guardian and stuff, they're not gonna know what the hell that is. It's like from like 20 years ago. Okay, sorry. So monetizing via Twitch. Can we talk about that now?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Great.
All right. So I'll go point by point. The first one is ads. The way that ads work is through a thing called CPM. I don't know how much they know, Stephanie, so I'm just going to assume.
We briefly talked about CPM the other day, but go for it.
Okay. So CPM is basically if you have 1,000 people and they see something, what's that worth? And that's what it's worth is determined by a dynamic system controlled by algorithms that basically reads into the volume that is searched of something and then puts a price to it based on how many people search it and how many people engage with it. So if more people click on it, then it's worth more. And if more people engage with it, then it's worth more. So you could have a CPM of, say, $20, okay? And that means for every 1,000 people that view this, you get $20. So at a high level, this will be what Twitch sells. So Twitch's sales team will sell a brand. So this is how it works, right? Twitch sells a, by the way, Steph, how much time do we have? Just curious.
Class goes until 1:45.
That's, so I'm on spooky PST time. So right now it's 12.
Oh yeah, sorry. So you have like an hour, 15 minutes.
Oh, that's super good. Oh, we're going to go hard. We're going to go so deep then. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to go into the mechanics, man. This is going to be super cool. Okay, and there's going to be plenty of time for questions and stuff like that too.
Sweet.
Okay, so Twitch sells Twitch sells inventory, which is basically space on their streams. Okay, to brands. So brands like I don't know, what's a brand? Chat, what's a brand? What's a brand that is advertised on Twitch? They're just spamming emotes right now. I gotta give them a sec. Tesla isn't advertised on Twitch. Get that shit out of here. Oh, sorry, I can't curse. It's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah. G Fuel, or they might know what that is. Adidas. Okay, yeah. So Adidas is actually advertised on Twitch. Good. Okay. So brands like Adidas will buy that space, and then pay for every 1,000 people that view it. So then Twitch will give a percentage to the streamer based on the initial CPM, and it's usually like probably $5 to $10 per 1,000. But that adds up because if you have like, I don't know, 100,000 impressions, for example, then you're making like $1,000, right? So it's pretty good. I mean, assuming that there's other things that go into this, like other stuff, like other people take pieces of the pie and stuff. And if you're lucky, you can get even higher CPM, or you can negotiate your own deals. So right now on Twitch, advertising is actually not that great. And the reason is because in the infinite wisdom of Twitch, they have like actually made it really annoying for streamers to run ads, right? Because like if I run an ad, I lose like half my audience because nobody wants to watch an ad, and it's not endemic to their experience. I remember I remember like I was watching a video from a major like Fortune 500 company, and it was like a big marketing video that they had just exclusively released for YouTube, and it probably cost them like $20,000 or $30,000, but they put an actual in-video ad for their product in the first 30 seconds of the video, and the video got like 12,000 views, but it should have got a couple of million. And what happened there was just a lack of understanding of the sort of endemic nature of how these audiences work now, right? Like we don't want to look at ads for long percentages of time, like the sort of like television inventory of how ads work. That will never work on a platform like Twitch or YouTube. And people that are trying to make that happen are running into just enormous amounts of resistance because nobody wants to do that. What we want to do now is we want to engage with products in an authentic way. So like if I'm drinking this green tea, for example, and which I drink every morning to keep myself sane from Twitch chat, then I can recommend you this product. And I like, okay, so actually that's a really cool story, but like, because I can actually like slow down a little bit because I realize I have more time, which is great. So the reason, this is a great story. Okay, so this green tea comes from a little shop in Chicago, and it's from a like 800-year-old dude named Bill. And what Bill does is Bill wanders around China every year, and he brings back green tea that's like loose leaf green tea on the back of a box that he puts on a donkey, and he walks it through rural China back to like a main port city where he then ships it to the United States. And he has to do that because he goes out to these villages to find this sometimes 400 or 500-year-old tea. It's a fantastic story, right? But how the hell would you ever hear about it if if that person didn't do any kind of advertising? So this little shop is called Todd and Holland, and it's I'll write it down, and it's in Chicago. And they called me one day, and this was like years ago. They called me one day, and we're like, we're getting like hundreds of sales, and for a I should have charged for it, Jesus, like, but they've done a lot of good for me since whatever. It's just like an old like grandma and grandpa running the shop. Like I'm not gonna like charge them a CPM or something. But anyway, like I'm not advertising this because I'm being paid for it. I'm advertising it because I literally love the product. So as a result, tons of people in my chat, they bought the product and they love it, and then there it goes, right? That's not possible. That's how authentic advertising works in this day and age now. It's no longer this thing where it's like, oh yeah, we watch like an advertisement with like 30 seconds. We listen to like all the benefits of this one medicine that's gonna like supposedly cure our whatever we have, but also gonna cause all these problems. Like all this like a traditional advertising, it's leaving. There's no way it's going to be a case. I had to ban someone. Sorry. It's like, can I get a mod? Like I need a mod promotion by fire because I cannot focus on chat right now. So somebody that's been here. Oh, Kafira, you got it. You get the sword. Kill everyone who opposes you. Okay. All right, cool. All right, we're good. Sorry.
Okay.
if you leave them, yeah, they're crazy. Okay. Okay. All right. So Todd and Hall is like a really good example of this, like sort of like, so this traditional advertising doesn't work anymore. What does work is like these sort of like authentic, what we call calls to action. And we actually have an emote. It's called Mill CTA. It's like me going like this, like that, like, because it's what I asked them to give me money basically. Cause they forgot to do it. So when you ask someone to give you money and they forget to do it, it's called a call to action. Hey, this is really important for y'all. If you're does anyone take notes in college anymore? Is that a thing?
They're supposed to.
Okay, cool. Take a note of this. CTAs, right? So calls to action are super important. I actually haven't gotten to that section yet, but what a call to action is like, hey, Twitch chat, yo, listen to me. Wait, what's our number? Hang on. Okay, we are 2 subs away from 840 subs. So you guys, I need some backup here. Toss me a subscription if you get value out of this. Okay, look at this. We're talking to Emerson College about streaming right now. Isn't that amazing? Okay, you can support this broadcast by subscribing to either Twitch Prime or, there we go, Kafira with the 5 gifted subs. Thank you very much. Diedrich's gifted tier 1 sub to Marble Top. Let's go. Thank you very, very much. Hephaestus with a 7 resub. Thank you very much. Amazing. Thank you very much. Guys, get some claps in chat for that. Thank you very much. Also, guys, thanks for having my back because I would have been screwed if nothing happened there. And then, like, I actually said that was good. Okay. All right. Cool. So that's a call to action, right? And what it is it's just like, oh yeah, Lagix, gifted the mech boss. See, you guys are making history right now, gifting subs right now, like in this. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm going full sell. Okay, so that's the point, though, right? This is what I'm talking about. That's a call to action, and that's authentic because they're supporting me doing this every single day. And hopefully I'm providing some value to them. And the truth is that very few people actually really want something for free. If they feel like they're getting value from something, it sort of puts them into kind of existential debt to not return that in some way. And Twitch has a lot of ways to return that, and Twitch understands this. And so one of those ways is to watch ads, right? And another one of those ways is to subscribe. So that's the second example that we're going to use. So CPM is number one, and then subscriptions are number two. So subscription is for, I think, $5. You can subscribe to a stream for 1 month, renewing or just a month. You can also do a cool thing with Twitch Prime, where if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can actually subscribe to a stream for free as long as your Twitch is linked to your Amazon. And this was announced in 2016, I think, and it completely revolutionized broadcasting. Basically doubled everybody's subscriptions overnight because everyone's mom and dad had an Amazon account. So you just linked it to your Twitch, and now all of a sudden you're supporting your favorite broadcaster for free, and you get 1 Twitch Prime per month. This was amazing. Like when this happened, it totally changed everything. I was broadcasting the day this happened, and I remember we got like, I don't know, 300-400 subs or something. Explaining subscribing to the, well, I don't know if they know. Oh, yeah, you guys could like ask questions too. That's like a thing. We're gonna have like a dedicated section for questions, and even if you guys don't ask questions, the chat will. So wait, what do you mean bring up the website? What website? Oh, you're trolling me. What do you mean they don't know? They do know. They know. Okay.
They know. We talked
Yeah.
about subs, yeah. Do you want them to ask questions in chat, or do you want them to shout things out?
They should shout. Asking questions in chat is a shit show. Yeah. Oh, how much money do I get from a sub? It's dependent, right? So I can't actually tell you, but most streamers will get a 50-50 split. Some streamers will actually get more than that. So if the answer is you can't tell them, they're probably getting more than that. Okay. So this is value content. Devin Nash, never subbed, never donated. Sure. Okay. But that's fine. Because even you are supporting the stream. There's like a joke that's like, I'm on my neighbor's Wi-Fi. Neighbors hacked Wi-Fi. Computer at the library. Never sub, never donated, never followed. Basically doing everything they can to not support the stream. But even they are, right? Because they're adding a view, and adding that view is one more person that puts me up in discovery so more people can find me. So even that is like a way. Okay. Next one is tips. We can probably move through these pretty quickly because it sounds like you've gone over a lot of these.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So tips are basically people giving me money. Now, people don't give me as much money as they used to. And the reason is because they give subs now. So about a year ago, Twitch started this thing called sub gifting, which means like you can actually go out and you can gift subscriptions to people. And that has a sort of higher, how do we say, like community ROI. Basically, like if you give me $10, okay, then I actually have $10 and that's pretty sweet, but that's that one-time donation and then it's gone. But if you gift $10 worth of subs, you've just gifted 2 people a subscription, and as a result, those 2 people now remember you for a month, and they have that subscription for a whole month, so the impact is higher. Now, Twitch was very smart in this, right? Because Twitch takes at least 50% of subscriber income, so that they don't get anything from donations. So what they knew was that if they implemented gift subscriptions, and this is like somehow we just like let this go, and no one talked about it. It like everybody's like, yeah, sub gifting, and nobody realized that like Twitch just literally cut 50% of the income from broadcasters, and nobody even realized it. But it's fine because gifting subs is actually really cool. And, you know, I'm willing to give up that percentage in exchange for like having a really active community of people. Because once you get a subscription, there's a real feeling that you're kind of part of something. And like if you guys are actually interacting with the stream on your phones or your YouTube or your thing or whatever, it's 9 a.m. Okay, like I'm usually not up this late. I'm a game or early. I'm a gamer, so bear with me here. Maybe someone will even gift you a sub to my community. Wow, if you say you're from Emerson College, but now automatically everybody will say that they are. So that was a bad idea. So tips, they still happen, and I actually think Bobby Wasabi. I think that guy's actually from there. So okay, yeah. Okay, so I think that guy's actually from there. So that guy's real. All right. Okay. So no one gives any money anymore via tips, man. And it kind of feels bad, but it's okay. All right. So next way you can make money is CTAs, right? We just saw that. And this is actually something that I think that a lot of people don't think about. And I've actually taught some really big streamers to do this, and they've like doubled their income by doing it. And it's literally just what we did before, which is like telling chat to do something. And it's like, it sounds like really weird and kind of unintuitive to a person. It's like, I can literally yell at somebody to buy a product and they will. And it's like, wait, why would that be the case? Well, it's because they're going to, oh, there you go. Effin, thank you very much. See, Bobby, you got it. You have to do it with the music? I can, yeah. Would you rather people gift than donate? No, like gifting subs is fine. I don't think they can hear the music if I do. So, but like tips are okay. If you give me $10, then I have that $10 for a sandwich. If you gift 2 subs, then I have $5 for a sandwich. But I have 2 subs. This is a trade-off. Okay, so like CTAs, they're literally just calls to action towards things. If you do them, the more you, and like what's really weird about calls to action, it doesn't seem like there's like an upper limit. So like I could probably just make this entire stream, and there are indeed entire streams of people just thanking subs and telling people to subscribe, and they do. And it's like, I don't understand. Don't ask me about how that works. It's like that's like some quantum physics shit. I don't know. Like that, I don't know why, but like I swear to you, it actually happens. It just feels like some of the bigger streamers with like 10,000 viewers, they're just perpetual gifting subs and thanking subs and going back and forth, and there's literally like no value beyond that. Okay, so the next one is sponsorships, and sponsorships. Though I'll get into like the internals of like how they actually work. And Stephanie, you can interrupt me at any time and tell me like, oh, we talked about this. This is boring or whatever. Like, yeah. So like sponsorships are typically monthly, and they'll be from so the most important thing to understand about sponsorships, I think, is endemic and non-endemic. Endemic means that it's a sponsor that typically supports video games. Do you guys give more subs? Where are the gnomes coming from? Oh my God. Oh, Dal gifting 20 subs. Yo, clap it up. Thank you very much. That's insane. Thank you very much, man. Don't make me into a thanking sub stream, but thank you. I a lot of really cool people just got subs. That was super awesome. Guys, clap it up. And we have like a Hall of Fame thing. So in my like Hall of Fame, I write them down for how cool they are. So I'll update this at the end of the stream for everything, but I'm just going to show you like how it works. So I can edit these panels here. This is like a really cool thing we can do where we can go through and we can look at everybody that's gifted subs this month. So Dal just gifted 20, right? So we can put him here and like thank him for that. It was pretty sweet. There we go. 213. 20 gifted subs. Bam. And we can also like put Kafira in there, right? Because Kafira gifted subs. Pretty cool, right? So like we thank them that way. A lot of streamers don't do this. They just take the subs. But what I do is I copy and paste this out into a document that then exists forever on our Discord. And it's October 2nd. Oh, you're right. It's a new month. Oh yeah. So we have to change this whole thing. Oh my God. Okay. So we'll do that later. All right. Not important now. I'm sorry. Okay. Sponsorships. So, and then like, let me write that down then, because I think that's going to be insane. So Dal gifted 20 subs. Kafir gifted 5 subs. Okay. All right. Endemic sponsors are people who are already kind of familiar with the video game industry. So stuff like G Fuel. G Fuel is a company that sells energy drinks to gamers. Stuff like, Corsair, right? Which is a big partner of ours. Corsair, they are endemic because they sell peripherals for gaming. Like their business depends on gaming in some way. Non-endemic is obviously the opposite. So non-endemic is people whose business does not depend on gaming. So in an interesting kind of turn of events, non-endemics can actually become endemic. And the way they do this is they just advertise enough with gaming that they become kind of synchronous with that audience. So for example, Madrina's Coffee is a non-endemic that just sold coffee, but now a huge percentage of their like audience is through Twitch. Like a lot of the stuff that they do is through Twitch. See, they have this like these tweets that go out. Are you a gaming content creator, Twitch streamer, YouTuber? We want to sponsor you. So coffee would not necessarily seem like something that we get a sponsorship for, but now it is. And another one that's really interesting that's coming through and sort of breaking from the non-endemic to the endemic space is a company called Bang Energy. And they have these very controversial booths at things like PAX or Twitch where they have dancing girls, like beautiful girls that just like they'll dance and they dance all the time. And it's like energy drinks. And like people are starting to recognize Bang as a brand in gaming. So, and there's like a lot of like controversy around this right now because it's like, oh, should they have dancing girls at events and stuff like that? So that's the whole thing. So sponsorships, non-endemic sponsors typically pay more. The reason is because they don't know what Twitch streamers are worth, and they don't realize how bad Twitch streamers are at doing calls to action. So they spend more money than they should. And endemic sponsors are usually like more of like the weathered like ones that are like giving out dollars, because they understand, like if you look at like Coursera, for example, they've run the numbers now to know what people are worth. And I'll give you guys some cool stats. Like, so typically, a broadcaster of my size, right, could expect sponsorships of a couple $1,000s a month each, right? So, and you get sponsored by categories. So you might have some obvious ones are like headset, mouse, food, beverage, apparel, though this is rare, and etc. And then maybe just random stuff like so like VPN services, for example, right? Which is like if you want to like tunnel into something and you don't want to get caught doing it, right? Like there you can sell that. And so a couple $1,000s. It's worth noting I don't take sponsorships because this is my side hustle, right? Like Devin Nash, the brand is just what I do for fun, basically, and kind of because I love my community. My other job is as a CMO, so I don't really take sponsorships, but typically you would. Larger broadcasters, though, can expect to make $10,000 to $20,000 a month per sponsor. So this starts to add up when you look at like all the sponsors. You can expect someone like Soda Poppin' or Shroud or Ninja or someone. Well, Ninja's a special case, but let's take like Soda Poppin' or something like that. They'll be clearing easily 12 to 15K per sponsor. Probably have 5 or 6. So that's an easy 200K a month. So once you add in like all these monetization methods that we're talking about, those broadcasters are typically clearing 5 to 7 million a year, no problem, right? And that's pretty great. And by the way, that has a contrast. I don't know if anyone's interested in esports. Player salaries have still not caught up anywhere close to these salaries. So if you're a top tier broadcaster, you're making way more than a top tier player, which isn't the case in sports, right? If you're a top tier sports player, you make way more than the broadcasters that are like talking about it on ESPN, way more. Because those contracts start at like $30 million or whatever. But right now, like Twitch broadcasters, YouTubers make the most amount of money, and Twitch broadcasters make the second most out of any influencer. Unless you like Instagram, like Kylie Jenner, for example, she'll get $1 million flat. That's her starting fee for a Instagram post. So if you want to post with Kylie Jenner, that's $1 million flat out. And like I kind of like. Just like a quick side note, because I'm interested in this and we have time. Like, I'm really curious as to the actual ROI of that, because there is so much bullshit around botting and numbers, like especially on Instagram, where like we've shown like again and again and again that like half of the viewership is fake. I don't see how like a sponsor actually gets that $1 million back. I think the theory is a concept called earned media. Do they know what that is? So earned media is a concept where people talk about you, and that's worth something, right? Because there's paid media, which means I pay a person to talk about me, which is advertising, and that's the CPM model up there. And there's earned media. So I think the theory is that by posting something, that Kylie Jenner posting a product, that the earned media kind of like goes over the paid media. So you can make an entire empire on earned media, right? And indeed people do, like Logan Paul and people like this on YouTube and things like that. They create controversial stuff or drama. There's a lot of Twitch streamers who create intentional drama. It's like, who had sex with who on Twitch, or who talked about this person in a bad way or whatever. And just, it's this perpetual emotion machine and they do it for the earned media, and it works. And they get tons of viewers and donations. And we talk about that a lot on our channel. Okay, so that's sponsorships. Next one is Patreon. And this is yet another one that YouTube utilizes very well, but Twitch doesn't. So Patreon is a service where people can like, Holland, let's see, who's the guy that sings? I always like to use this guy. Is it Todd Holland? I can't remember it now. I need like a good chat. Who's like a very successful Patreon? Don't give me like a not safe for work one. Who's like a No, don't say Amarath. Okay. Sneaky. Oh my God. Do better. Okay, Jordan Peterson. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. So this is kind of an iffy one because let's use something more endemic. Let's use Koibu. Yeah, Koibu Zero. So Koibu Zero is actually a Dungeons and Dragons person. What he does is he creates Dungeons and Dragons campaigns full time. How insane is that? That's what new media can enable you to do. It's so cool that's the reality. So it enables you to do this full time. So Koibu is actually running a show for me that we just started called Empires of Arcadia, which is the world that he built. So this guy's entire deal is to build a custom world that you adventure through in Dungeons and Dragons. And we are going to have a live show on Twitch that will air every Wednesday starting October 9th that's going to be hosted by him and some other influencers on the platform and myself. So he has a Patreon that he set up, and these guys pay him for what he does. And so this is something that I think a lot of Twitch broadcasters don't utilize, but YouTube does utilize. And I just think this is a reality of like, people think, this is actually a really important note, people, because I've actually provided a lot of like tactical advice here. I want to make sure that I do that. But like people, maybe that can come through in the questions, but people think that like, oh, there's already a subscription service on Twitch. People won't subscribe to my Patreon, but that's actually not how this works. The audiences don't syndicate one-to-one. So you can post your same content in one location like Twitter and then repost the exact same content on Instagram, and you'll have very little layover. It actually won't ever appear to a user that you're posting content in multiple places just by the way that content is consumed. On Twitter, the sort of medium for somebody to engage with a post is an average of 9 minutes. It's a very short amount of time. On Instagram, it's a bit longer. It's 90 minutes. And on Facebook, it's about 120 minutes. So Facebook has like the longest engagement from the time you make a post to the time that somebody stops seeing it. But even still, it's unlikely that those people are going to cross over in their day, right? Like if they happen to be on the 9 minutes of their day, they're browsing Twitter to see that, and they're also on the 120 minutes of their day that they're broadcasting Facebook, like those two things don't correlate. So often they won't see that content. It's the same with Patreon and subscribing. If I should follow my own advice and have a Patreon, right? And someone like Jordan Peterson who does self-development content, this is something that I do. So like, I think he's unbelievably successful in this. This is not his actual page. He's like ridiculously successful on Patreon. Or did he shut it down, chat? What happened to it? He deleted his Patreon? That was dumb. He was making like $50K a month off that thing. Okay, so he did it for some spiritual reason, but if you like money, Patreon's a good idea. Okay. Yeah, Peter Hollins is a great idea. People are bringing that up. So Peter Hollins is a dude. I don't know why I said Tom Holland. I'm just not thinking again. It's like really early. Let's see. Patreon. Thanks for the sub, Axel. You're awesome, dude. Clap it up. I've got this little button. So 3,722 Patreons. And we can't tell how much money he's making because they disabled that. But I can tell you, even at the bottom tier, let's literally assume worst case scenario, okay? 3,722 times 2. That's $7,400 a month or $89,000 a year. And I can promise you, not everybody's at tier 1. And that's per video he makes, by the way, not per month. So I was wrong. It's even more than that. So every video that he makes, it auto pays. That's what we got to do, chat. Screw this like monthly thing. Every video I make, and then I just upload a bunch of little dog shit. No, I'm kidding. Okay, all right, yeah, but yeah, this is a good monetization model, right? And then lastly, there's events and special shows, and this is something I think that a lot of people don't consider, but there are some people doing this. Like I know Offline TV, which is like Pokey, and Lily Pichu and those types. They sometimes do like special get-togethers or shows where they can charge like either ticket sales, and we're going to see more of this in the next like couple of years. But it's just something cool to think in mind. So everything that works on Twitch also works on YouTube, and I'm actually of the opinion that YouTube monetizes quite a bit better than Twitch. This is something that most people don't think right now because people. From a brand-facing perspective, people have it in their mind that there's like an adpocalypse on Twitch or on YouTube, and so as a result, like nobody's making money off of it. But it's categorically untrue. Like most people are making far more money off of YouTube than they are off of Twitch. And it's really important to know that like for every one person that's viewing Twitch, there's 99 that are watching YouTube. YouTube is just such a more massive platform, and the influencers in the top 1% are making way more than the influencers in the top 1% over here on Twitch. So I always recommend that people that are going to start streaming, and maybe this is something that you should keep in mind if you're going to be a broadcaster and you're interested in this, you actually start on YouTube. And the reason is because you learn how to create narratives. Just a little bit of a side note. I do this. I'm actually staying like on topic more than I like ever do on the stream. Usually, like an hour in, we'd be talking about like the life cycle of like salmon in like Alaska by now. It'd be like ridiculous. So creating narratives, I think, is something that you do on YouTube and not on Twitch. On Twitch, you're sort of tempted to log in and then just kind of play a game or do something, but you're not actually like creating a story. And this is actually missing from Twitch. And there are some people that do this really, really well. Has anyone ever heard of a show called Critical Role? Mm-hmm. Oh, you have?
I have.
Neat. Okay. So you like Dungeons & Dragons?
I do.
Oh, yeah. So Critical Role is a Dungeons & Dragons show on Twitch. And it is insanely popular. I believe they have over maybe 40,000 subscribers. Do the math on that. There's 40,000 subscribers. They're making 3.5 a month. That's 140K a month. 1.6 million a year just off of subs. Not bad. Not bad. And what they do is they get a bunch of nerds together and they play Dungeons and Dragons. And that's it. And like I can't like really find it's one of these, right? Is this like a clip? Yeah. So they sit at a table and they play D&D, and this is the setup. And this has 40,000 subs. Every one of these people are like super charismatic voice actors, but you can have kind of potentially anybody to do this. Now they have an entire business built around this. There's a Kickstarter for like a show they're doing on TV. Like each one of them has like individual brands. For example, this dude is like one of the coolest dudes in the world. Also voices McCree in Overwatch, right? There's like so it's like this is like an example of what I think we should see way more of on. And Kafira links in chat. Like this is like an example of like them doing like an animated special, which raised over $11 million. Okay, their original goal was $750,000. $750,000, right? And they raised $11 million because people think they're cool. That's insane, right? That's the power that a show like Twitch has. And that comes from back to our previous thing that we talked about originally, right? Which is like influencers have a ridiculous amount and a unique amount of power in this industry. And so like a show like this is a pre-produced show on Twitch. And I don't think we see enough of those. I actually prep my shows. I have like notes on my shows. You can see them where I have like topics. I wonder if I could like actually pull it up. I don't usually like reveal my topics, but this is kind of a special stream. So like maybe we'll do it. So here's like some topic list, right? I actually have a show, which is like, here's like some of the interesting stuff like YouTube demonetization we're going to talk about. Like this is the next like couple days that we're going to start talking about this, right? And then I have notes for you guys because, you know, I wanted to not just like talk at you. I wanted to make it cool. And hopefully it is. So that's a thing that's very rare on Twitch. Normally what they'll do is you'll just go on and you'll just start streaming. And I think that actually establishes a bad precedent because on YouTube you actually have to create a narrative. You have to make a video about something. And I'm trying to push for this platform to be about something more. When there are things like D&D like through Critical Role, this is like an amazing example of like what the platform could be used for. Another person who I actually got to meet at TwitchCon is a guy named Kip Boga. Does anyone know Kip Boga? Okay, I got it. Yeah. So Kip Boga, so he's live right now. So what he does is he dresses up. He basically uses a voice changer, and he talks like a grandma. And what he does is he calls Indian scammers, and he leads them through these long and involved processes as they're trying to scam him to get money. And he's just never going to give them money. But he role plays these old people, right, that essentially don't know. And so Kit Boga has like gotten this down to an absolute mastery. And that's just that timer in the corner right there is how long he's been on the freaking call total with like the particular scammer that he's leading on. And like he used to do this thing, what he did was called revealing. So what a reveal would be like at the end, he'd be like, at the end of the call, he'd be like, haha, I got you. I'm not really this old person. I'm this guy that's just wasting your time so you can't scam other people. But he's since like evolved and like now everybody in his chat, they're like, hey, reveal, like tell them. And he's like, no, right? I want them to suffer to the maximum. I want them to go for eons before they understand how much time they've wasted. Like he has like literally put this to a sort of like transcendental level. He's gotten so good at this. It's actually ridiculous. And he's got 10,000 concurrent viewers right now, right? Just watching him do this. And this is a pre-prepared show. He knows who he's going to call. He knows what he's going to do. He has like a whole like setup for it. This is what we should see more of on Twitch. But because the platform is so new, you see much more of this sort of like, like someone like Asmongold. I'm much more nervous clicking on this guy's chat. But this guy's just playing World of Warcraft. And that's it. This is what you see is what you get. But 40,000 people will still watch this, for whatever reason. And because he's a really good entertainer. And he's like not really doing anything. But there's no like point to this show. He doesn't know what he's doing before he starts. He thinks he does, but he doesn't. Okay. So pre-produced shows, I think, are something that you all can think about a lot more when you're starting streams. Is like, what do I want this stream to be about? Like, what is it? What would be cool for me to do as a result of this stream? And I think we don't see that enough on Twitch. And I want to give some examples of of that. Yeah. So I don't know. I actually didn't write a conclusion before we get to questions and stuff, since I actually hit the timer and I know we're like 20 minutes out. But I'll conclude it anyway, because one of the things you have to be good at if you're broadcasting is improv. So sometimes that doesn't work, though. I actually took improv classes and comedy classes, and my viewership doubled. Seriously. It's what's that?
I just said, wow.
Yeah. It's like it's real stuff. So like I think improv and comedy is such an important aspect of like one of my biggest pieces of advice is like if you're a broadcaster, is take an improv class. And I actually had dinner at TwitchCon with Andy Milanakis, if any of you guys know him. And Andy got his start in traditional improv, which I did not know. And he walked me through like exactly how he did it. He took years of classes on improv and comedy, and that was like what led him to become a successful, not only on MTV, but also a successful broadcaster as well on Twitch. Now he's like an IRL streamer, and he's actually moving to New York so that he can do like better IRL streams now. Super awesome guy. And that's like a point of like how we talked about how improv had helped us both become better people and better broadcasters. And indeed, no matter what you're doing in the world, I'd recommend that you take an improv class because the skills are just so applicable to everything, but especially streaming, because you have to think about things like, oh God, I didn't write a conclusion and I'm talking to a class. What the hell do I do now? In conclusion, if you want to be a broadcaster, okay, let me just give you some incredibly haunting numbers that I love to throw up my Twitch chat. There are 3 million monthly broadcasters on Twitch right now. That's people that'll hit the start streaming button. So out of those, if you have 400 viewers or more, you're in the top 0.0000000. There's like a lot of zeros here, but it's like there's like a 0.01% or something like that. Okay, I gotta say you write that. I see. I went to college, but it was a long time ago, so I don't really know math anymore. But yeah, it's like that. It's like a low number. Okay. So this is actually, this stream right here is a fairly small stream compared to others, but it's a top 1%. I'm top 1% of Twitch, right? There's 3 million monthly broadcasters. So the ability for you to get noticed in that group of people is at this point almost impossible starting from a 0 viewer stream. So as a result, I heavily recommend that if you're considering broadcasting full time, you leverage it off of other platforms, particularly YouTube. And the big thing that differentiates YouTube from Twitch is that it has algorithms to determine how to discover a person versus Twitch, which is basically just view count. Now, Twitch is changing this, right? They're adding machine learning, but they're years behind. YouTube has the most advanced civilian machine learning out of any company. I'm very convinced of that. And or we could say Google. So indeed, this is relevant because if you make a video about, I don't know, a game and industry news, you don't have to be the most popular channel on YouTube to get that discovered. You can be a small channel and it'll get discovered. And we just recently started YouTube, I don't know, a few months back, not that long, and we're up to 17K subscribers largely off of this principle by just making like super clickbait stuff. See, like I talk about people getting banned in these big thumbnails and stuff. And people click on it because they have to. I manipulate their psychology so they don't have a choice. Right. And this is like kind of an example of how this works. So I always recommend that. And I'd say, like, in conclusion, like, let's like go back to sort of the beginning of this before we take questions. Just realize the absolute insane power that you have as a result of this new media. Like, we are really on the frontier of something that has never happened before. And it is unprecedented in human history, right? What just happened. Okay. I'm in a room alone in Seattle, talking into a cylinder, and in real time in fucking Emerson College, which is in Boston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In Boston, you're listening to me right now. Like, in real time. That's insane, right? Like, you know how long it would have taken me to do that 100 years ago? I had to write you a letter or something, and then someone would have taken it across the place, the United States or whatever, and they would have got shot by like arrows and like tigers and stuff. I don't know what's here, but like out there, and it would have taken like a year, and it would have been like hello, you know, like and like it would have been like a page. Okay, this is insane. This entire thing is insane, right? And like in theory, I could actually get on a plane and talk to you next class. I don't want to do that because I'm really lazy. But if I did want to do that, I could do that, right? And I'd be there in like 5 hours. So I'm giving a talk to Carnegie Mellon, which I am going out for because the Twitch student really convinced me to do it. Also paid me. So that was a factor. And I'm going to give a talk at Carnegie Mellon, which is in Pittsburgh, which is like a hell of a long flight, like out there somewhere. And I'm doing that, I think, the week after next. Okay, so like, and that's like crazy. So we're at the same time as that's happening, guys in chat. Can they see the chat? They can, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Monka Giga. Okay, guys, post where are you? Like, what country are you in right now, or what state? Like, where are you? Just post it. Germany, Norway, Oregon, Belgium, Florida, UK, London, Brazil, Baltimore, Singapore. It's like right now, I didn't even know some of these places have internet. Kuwait, I think you're probably not from Kuwait, but maybe they have like internet, right? They probably have internet. Okay, sorry. Okay, Texas, Thailand, right? Like, look at this. Like, stop saying North Korea. I know you're not from North Korea. There's no way that one is not going to get past me. Okay, California, yeah. So the point being, people are from literally all over the place seeing this live, and I can tell them anything. I don't even know what to tell them right now. Like, guys, invest in the S&P 500 responsibly. Do dollar cost averaging, right? I don't know. Like, you can tell them anything. This is an insane platform, and and like the implications of which we are not even close to understanding. And so I just like, I hope that from this class and from Stephanie, like, you're learning, and from me, I guess, like by proxy a little bit, just how cool this is, and like what the potential of it is. And I think the future, this is a good conclusion, because I've been thinking about how I'm going to conclude this the entire time I just bullshitted for the last 5 minutes. Okay, so I think that all of us are essentially brands going forward in some way or another. And indeed, the leveraging power that you have to any company these days, if you have an Instagram following or a Twitter following or a YouTube following, no matter what your industry is going to be, some of you are going to become, you guys are from Emerson College, so you're really smart. Not like me. I went to a liberal arts college that had like 1,000 people, and I am not smart. But you guys are smart, so you're going to get like good jobs. And like, you're going to be like engineers and like doctors and stuff and lawyers and like, and maybe you're going to be like Twitch streamers or whatever. So like, whoops. Okay. But whatever you become, it's going to be really good. So you guys, having a brand and like being influencers behind that, it's just going to actually leverage you even further than if you just had that clout from Emerson, believe it or not. You'll actually be even bigger. And like, all y'all are like, probably like 20 to 30 years old, right? Like 20 to 25.
Younger than that. Like, what are you guys, like 20? 22? 22. Yeah, 20.
Oh my God. Dude, if you guys get started on this kind of like thing, like, you guys think like TikTok is cool and that sort of stuff, right? Like,
No.
Okay, that's not cool anymore? All right, I'm just messing with you, all right? If you get started now, you could mess up, do nothing for the next 5 years, and you'd still not even be a fifth of your life. Like, if you get started building a brand right now, in 5, 6, 7, 8, like I've been at this 2012, right? Like, in 7 years, you'd be incredible. And don't underestimate that, like, efficiency, that time efficiency, because like it really is a numbers game, just like posting more content, like until something clicks and something hits and you learn. So everyone, I think, is going to be an influencer, micro or macro in some way going forward. And I thought there was a really cool movie about this, like Ready Player One. Did any of you see that? Someone in chat could be like, well, it's originally a book. And like, yeah, I know, but like, it's a movie, okay? So like, that movie was like an example of like everybody has that kind of power. So you have that power as an influencer. I think that's really super cool. So yeah, I'm gonna take questions now and stop talking because I think that's like a really neat idea. And thanks.
Cool.
Wow.
I guess what questions you have, you can shout them out. You can also type them if you're.
Chat, post questions about growth and money and streaming and stuff like that. Also, but the Emerson College folks take priority because you can ask me anytime.
Yeah,
why does no one love me? You don't work on yourself enough. You need to focus more on your self-improvement.
All right, we have a question.
Yeah.
How do you see, what like new features do you think could help Twitch kind of overtake YouTube in the ways that you think that YouTube's already better than Twitch?
Damn. Chat, why don't you ask questions like that? You ask like, how do I find a girlfriend, or like, why does this smell bad, or like, there's this thing on my foot. Like, what is this? Look at that question. That was such a good question. What new features do you think could help Twitch overtake YouTube? Because you ignore me? Because you ask bad questions. It's a vicious cycle. Okay? All right? It's not my fault. It's the children who are wrong. Okay. Like, that's a fantastic question. So the number one thing I think is a system of machine learning. So I'm gonna show you right now. If we go to Twitch and we go to the browse feature right now, the way that I find content is typically by viewers sorted high to low. Okay. And what that so Asmongold appears first, then Tim the Tapman. These are all like really then like this crazy. I think that's a Korean streamer chat. I think those are Korean words. Yeah. Okay. Good. That's probably Russian. So this is how people find content. Now, Asmongold may not be the content I want to watch, right? But if I go onto YouTube and I type best priest builds World of Warcraft Classic, it doesn't sort by the number of views. This one happens to have 624K views because it's the most relevant to what I asked, right? Now, here's like a PvE guy that has 166, and then 187, 183. Here's one with just 60K, and you scroll down, and then here's one just with 16K, right? Now, maybe this actually happens to be the one that I want to watch. And this is the consummate difference between YouTube and Twitch right now, is that on the World of Warcraft section, Asmon may not be the person that I want to watch for World of Warcraft content. It may be someone completely different. So Twitch, and I mean this is very recently, has implemented this sort by, if you see here, recommended for you, where it still puts Asmongold at the top. That's hilarious. Okay, but like that's because the ML is like very weak on this. But you're seeing that like the second streamer now has 582 viewers. And the reason why I'm getting recommended this guy is because he actually crosses over with another stream I watch called, which is Destiny. And so Destiny shares viewership with this guy. So they said, oh, they're just running like a really simple algorithm. Oh, because you watch this guy, you probably like this guy who the other people also watch this guy. Did that make sense? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. I thought it didn't. So that's how that works. Very simple. But over time, this will evolve. And so ideally, when you click on the Browse tab, you should be recommended the stream that you're most interested in watching. And then that will remove this sort of like feast or famine of like the greatest, most powerful people rising to the top. Because that's not how it should be, right? You should get served the best content that you want. So it's like, here's a good example, like a corollary. If you go into Jamba Juice, do you have Jamba Juice there? What's your smoothie place in Boston?
We have that.
None.
What's it?
None.
None.
You don't have smoothies in Boston? You haven't invented it yet?
We have smoothie places.
That's going to be a cool invention when it gets there. It might be so cold you just can't bother. I was in Boston for PAX East, and like that, like my Airbnb didn't have heat, and the cold in Boston, like the cold in Seattle, it's like wussy cold, right? It's like oh, I'm kind of cold, like ooh, it's like a little bit nippy in the morning. But like Boston is like, I am going to freeze your bones. Like I'm going to go through your skin and I'm going to freeze your bones. I don't know how you guys deal with it. It's actually insanely cold there.
There's coffee in it though.
There's good coffee.
Iced coffee 365 days a year.
Yeah, I mean, if you put your hot coffee outside, it becomes iced coffee. It's like so like the corollary I would say is like, if the most popular Jamba Juice is a strawberry banana smoothie, okay? It may not necessarily be great if when every time you walk into Jamba Juice, they just give you that. And you're like, I actually wanted an Oreo smoothie. They're like, too bad. This is what you get, right? That's what Twitch is right now. But you want to make it more like YouTube, which is like, hey, here's a menu, and you can select it based on your request. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah.
Cool. Also, I think that, let me go back to your question because I wrote it down. I think Twitch could definitely improve its ad viewing, right, and its monetization, because like and for TwitchCon they added some stuff. Like one really interesting thing is now if I run an ad, my stream actually still plays in picture, meaning that I'm more comfortable running ads. So there's like changes like that. But I think it's also important to realize that like YouTube and Twitch are different platforms, right? Like YouTube is a video on demand platform. Twitch has tried to make that like a thing, but they really can't. Like YouTube really owns that market. And if Twitch is not careful, YouTube will own live streaming too if they don't compete with machine learning. I think that'd be like the number one thing. Thank you for your question. It's awesome.
Other questions?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
So you talked about having planned content being like a goal for streamers in the future.
Yeah.
But because of the spontaneous nature of video games and just like not really knowing what's going to happen, how would you go about planning a Twitch stream based around a video game, especially one that doesn't necessarily have like a story mode and is more online focused?
Oh yeah, fantastic question. So let's take World of Warcraft for example, right? Actually, let's take League of Legends because I did that. Kafir, are you still here? Or Andy's here. Okay, cool. So these are like really long-time people. So some of the stuff that we did was like subscriber streams. Holy shit, these questions are better than my IQ. Mine too, dude. Yeah, these guys are like real smart. Like I'm out of my league here. Like this is yeah. So we did subscriber streams, right? We did a thing called Sub Wars where we like League of Legends has no point, right? And in the case of League of Legends, it literally has no point. It's just like there's why are you playing this? There's no point to playing this. Literally. Okay. So like Sub Wars is like where we take 10 subscribers and we 5v5 and I watch it and laugh. That's basically the model. Okay. So like another one was like tier listing where it's like we take all of the champions from X role, say jungle, and we rank how good they are. You could take something like World of Warcraft, which is like subscriber raids, dueling tournaments. Right now, Asmongold, I think, is running a dueling tournament that's like $40,000 prize, right? I think something like that. So the point here is like, you literally just like sit back and you think, maybe at the beginning of your stream, or I like to do it at the end of the day, what is something that is going to be fun for my viewers? So I make sure every day that I have something that the viewers know we're going to talk about. So like, for example, tomorrow we're doing a huge breakdown on everything that happened at TwitchCon and why it matters on Twitch. And after that, we have some like relevant Twitch and esports news. But the point is, it's a very small difference that you asked the question around, but it's a key difference. It's that it's the difference that you quickly start streaming. And like maybe and by the way, a lot of this is actually exemplified in stream title. So look at my stream title. My stream title is super marketing, right? Growing and making money from new media, Skyping into Emerson College class. And then I have my Discord in there because Discord is like really important for like growing a community. So if your title is like playing World of Warcraft, who gives a shit, right? Like anybody can do that. Or you can make it a little better and you could say like, wow, playing WoW. Come join, interactive streamer. And this is like still like, okay, right? Or you could just put like, beautiful girl, skip all this, just watch me. No, I'm kidding. That doesn't actually really work. Okay, so it's just a joke. Okay, but here's like a really good title. Is something like like special doing tournaments, giveaways, and prizes, win $50. Okay, that's a good title. Like, and I'd like iterate on it a little bit, but that gives you an example of like, see the difference between this and this. It's literally just how you thought about your stream. And again, like if I was approaching like a gaming stream, that's what I would think about, is making that planned content around it. So do anyone know a guy named XQC?
Yeah.
Okay, XQC is one of the most like popular broadcasters on the platform, and I've talked to him a lot about this now, and we had like an hour we talked about this at TwitchCon, and his like big thing is like, usually a person checking out your stream will give you like 20 to 30 seconds if they're there for the first time. Maybe it kind of depends on like how they heard you or like how they heard of you, but let's assume it's like 30 seconds. So XQC built his stream off the idea that something freaking crazy should be going on every 30 seconds, so that when somebody comes in, I just realized I spelled that caft, and nobody corrected me. Thanks, chat. Okay. Every 35 seconds, something interesting is happening on the stream, and as a result, that one viewer that is going to come in and be interested, and that's another follower, right? I love that idea of like, you don't have to plan content out, but you have to think about that from that perspective of like, as an entertainer, I need to keep it going. I need to keep the process going. I think that's really, really critical to being a good entertainer. And keep in mind, in a lot of ways, I probably know more on this than XQC, right? But like, even though XQC is an infinitely better entertainer than I ever will be, I've coached like literally hundreds of streamers on this. So like, it's good advice. Yeah, okay. All right, let's keep going.
That answer your question, Bobby? Cool. Other questions? Yeah?
So having been kind of on the back end, what kind of information is Amazon particularly able to get from linking up your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and how is that valuable to them?
Good question. So the question is, what info does Amazon get via Twitch, Amazon Prime? So unfortunately, Twitch only really collects your email. Does Twitch ask your age when you create? I don't think it does. It just asks if you're over like 13, right, chat? I think that so the answer is actually Twitch is not really getting. It does ask your age. Wrong. Gender. Okay, so email, gender. Yeah. I'll bump the yeah. But if you guys know me, then I can't boost the volume. You link game IDs. Will this be on the midterm? Yes, this is all a test. I'm going to be testing you all on this. Okay, so it's email and gender. So the data that Amazon collects, right, via like ushop at Amazon.com is insane. It's like everything. It's like if you buy like a ribbon for your dog, like you're getting dog ribbons for the rest of your life, like they're gonna know. But the most involved platform for data acquisition is by far Facebook, and this is why Facebook is one of the like most monetizable platforms. Like Facebook, like if you want to advertise to like if I want to advertise to like Emerson College students only in your local area, I could actually do that. It's like really insane. For like I could like run a Facebook. I should have done that for like this stream and have like people go into it. But Twitch doesn't actually collect that much information, and as a result, I think that is something they can't sell. And maybe hopefully that gets better. But because that's bad for everybody, right? Like people think that data, like not collecting data is like a good thing, but it's objectively bad because Twitch has a hard time giving us what we want. Whereas like on Amazon or on like YouTube, I'll go on YouTube right now and I'll look at like my my recommendations and I'll see stuff that I don't even know that I want to watch, right? Jordan Peterson, How to Attract Women. That sounds interesting. Like, right? Like I didn't know I wanted to watch that. Sounds great, right? We could watch that. So like the key to happiness or whatever, why Palpatine feared Qui-Gon Jinn. I kind of want to know that, right? Why was he afraid of Qui-Gon Jinn? I don't know, right? like these things are because YouTube collects a massive amount of data about your search history, but Twitch really doesn't use this yet because it's a very new platform. So right now Twitch just really doesn't collect a lot of data. Does that answer your question? Do you want me to expand on that anyway?
Yeah, no, that makes
Yeah, cool.
Devin, that makes me think of something you said earlier about selling selling data. There was some Twitch data you were talking about, and you talked about selling it to Amazon. So Amazon can't directly access that, even though they own Twitch.
Yeah, so we collect better data than Twitch does. How funny is that? As Nerd Fusion, and the way we do it is we have a chat bot in every chat over 12 viewers. A bot sits there and it aggregates all. Well, I don't want to tell exactly what it does. No, actually, fuck it. Here's exactly what it does. It collects all chat messages. It collects video, so it could actually. So if the streamer says the word pizza, we could actually figure out how many times the word pizza was uttered, and then we can go to like Domino's, and we can say, hey, here are the top streams on Twitch that actually talk about pizza. You might want to advertise with these streams. And then we can also do audio and visual recognition. So if the chat, one of the like most basic ways we do this is chat likes to spam this emote. It's called lol. Chat spam lol. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So like the way that it works is like we can count the number of lols in chat, right? And we know to measure that against moments that the streamer has that are funny. So like we can go back through a VOD and we can tell which clips would be the best clips based on how many lols there are. So Twitch doesn't know this. Twitch could do this, but they just are like they're just a bureaucracy, so they don't do this. So like we look so embarrassing in front of college students. I promise you're the only one in chat that cares about that. Like yeah. So Twitch so what we do is we actually package that data. And then we sell it back to Twitch and Amazon because they don't collect it. Yeah. So like, yeah, we actually have better data than Twitch does. 100%, and we probably always will. Like and that's not abnormal. Like, there are companies that like that collect data off of Facebook. That like Facebook has really good analytics, but they might just not be like focused on the kind of like thing that maybe a third party company is focused on. So like for example. Maybe Facebook isn't as focused on like buying habits of consumers. Maybe that's more of like an Amazon thing. So they trade through data, but data is like third-party data is like definitely one of the huge monetization things that goes in the background of Twitch. And there's $1 million deals that get settled for this with Twitch and Amazon. But yeah, I know it's funny you brought that up and you're really intuitive because a lot of people don't catch that. But the idea that we sell Twitch data back to Twitch sounds really stupid, but yeah, it's actually true.
No, actually, I'm not too surprised. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
If Twitch was a better company, then maybe not, but yeah.
You guys have any other questions? We probably have time for one or two more. Yeah, Paige.
So like I know that like on like the broadcasting side that like Twitch is majority male, but like having seen the analytics, like is the viewership closer to 50-50? Because like I know a lot of women who do watch Twitch and don't necessarily stream.
It's 14% female, and like I said, I can't do math. So chat, what's 100 minus 14? Actually, why am I asking chat? I asked Emerson College. You're way smarter. 86. Okay. Did someone say 82? Uh-oh. We got one through someone cheated the application process. All right. So, okay. Yeah. You're on the humanities section. I see. No, I'm screwing with you. All right. Yeah, it's 86. So women in gaming is like we can do an entire class just on this subject, but I think this is one of the biggest problems that we have as a platform. And I made a video about this on my YouTube channel, which I'm going to shout out here, which is youtube.com/Devin Nash, which you should all subscribe to. And it's called the truth about women on Twitch. So what this video is basically about is everybody thinks that women make more money on Twitch, have way higher tips, have way easier success, and that is just objectively by every metric false. It is harder to be a woman on Twitch than it is just impossibly harder, and you have to deal with infinitely more bullshit. So let me just show you one thing from my from a study. Okay, so on the right side here is the top words that are uttered in a chat for men. On the left side is the top words that are uttered in chat for a woman. See the difference? It sucks to be a woman on Twitch. Holy shit, is it so hard? And a huge reason is because it's just the gaming community, and particularly the male-dominated community on Twitch is just so bad to female broadcasters, and we have to change this. And like, I don't have time to get into all the ways that we should do this, but it comes through awareness and initiatives. One of the things we did in esports when I was running a team called Counterlogic Gaming is we started a team of all female gamers called CLG Red. And CLG Red is a team sponsored by Intel that tries to promote women and awareness in gaming. So unfortunately, the stats are still very skewed. Twitch says they have a higher percentage of women watching than actually are watching. Our analytics are better than Twitch's, and I can tell you that there's way less females watching than they say. It's still a huge problem.
Any more questions?
That's an awesome question, by the way. Thank you.
Good? You guys good? All right. I think they're good on questions. I don't know if there's any concluding thoughts you've got, Devin.
So I'm just really curious, like, out of the people in chat, how many of them actually think that they want to be broadcasters? They can, like, raise hands and you can, like, tell me.
Yeah, raise your hands. Okay. It's like half the room.
That's insane. Okay, cool. And, like, how many of you think that you want to have, like, something to do with, like, brands and influencing or like, even if it's not Twitch, like, something else?
A little more than half.
Okay, so like, for the people that are in the audience, I want to tell you, like, I want to give you like some like inspirational stuff, like you know what I mean. But like, we had a lot of fun today. But like in seriousness, you're gonna go like back to what you're doing, and maybe like some of this, like, I hope makes like a positive impression on you. And it was a huge honor to talk to you today. Oh my God, like I'm gonna actually go to Kevin and Garvey, and I'm gonna tell him like we should do this for more colleges, because I think this is like a really incredible idea of like having a Twitch streamer.
Yeah, this is super cool.
Yeah, and like you're pioneering this, Stephanie. So like, yo, like, can we clap it up for Stephanie also? Like, she works really hard for you guys. Let's go. All right, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We'll clap in chat too. You're gonna get the virtual claps. Yeah, like it's really hard to be a teacher. You don't get paid enough, and like. So like you don't care about it like now, but trust me, like you'll be like, oh my God, like some of my college professors, they changed my life with some of the classes that I took. And so in concluding thoughts, yeah, because it's probably over time, and like I know when I was in college and the clock was passed, I'm like, I need to get the hell out of here, so I'll try to be short. But
I built in a couple minutes, but yeah.
yeah. Okay, so guys, like it is an unprecedented time. The options we have in new media are so cool, and just spending a little bit of time to think about how you can uniquely impact that with your voice, with your opportunity. That dude that was doing humanities and creative, like, right, you have something you can share. Maybe you're doing art, maybe you're doing music, maybe you're doing something unique that you can share with the world. I believe everybody has that kind of imprint that they can make on the world in a positive way, and they can add to it. And you can do that as an amplifier, right? Some people say that social media is an echo chamber. It's for a bunch of people to talk back and forth and for it to go back and forth. I think that social media, including Twitch and YouTube, is an amplifier. I think you can put your voice out there and you can potentially go to thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people, and think about the imprint you can have on society and civilization if you do that for the positive, right? That has been my passion. I believe I have an obligation to serve people and to go forward and give people positive imprints and basically make their day a little bit better as a result of being here. And I absolutely am passionate and love my community who comes here every day to support me. And I think hopefully feels that way. And I can tell you guys, I haven't talked about this yet. I just came from TwitchCon, which is a big convention where all of us nerds get together and talk about this and sit around. The hundreds of people that came up to me and said, "Hey, that YouTube video you did about time management, that one talk you had that I didn't even remember 2 years ago or 4 years ago, helped me with my depression, or helped me get off drugs or something." I cried. I was so emotionally moved by that, and that's the power that every single one of you has if you want to create a platform and you want to do this. And it's going to take a ton of hard work, and it's getting harder every day, because one of the most influential things that somebody told me also in college, I was in a finance class with a really mean teacher. And what he said, he didn't say Emerson, he said Harvard, but he said, there are students right now that are working very hard at another college, and they're going to be competing for your jobs. And your only X factor is working harder than them. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. But I just want you to be aware of the power you have going forward in social media to hopefully make an imprint for good. There's a lot of sucky stuff in this world, and there's a lot of people that are using social media for bad. But if you become one of those people that makes a positive imprint, I think you can change the world, and I fucking want you to. And that, like, join me on that quest and do that. Like, every one of you, you're super smart. You're from Emerson College. Like, you're going to one of the most prestigious universities in the United States. Like, use it, right? Like, you have that unique ability, and I hope you use it. And I'm championing you. I'm voting for you. And please, like, do the best you can with this world. Like, we have an amazing future ahead of us. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me.
Thank you so much, Devin. It was like super awesome having you do this.
Hell yeah.
I wasn't sure how this was gonna work out, but
I wasn't either. But hopefully it was good. If it was, tell Kevin and Garvey. And a special shout out to Twitch Student for making this possible. It really is them that organized this entire thing.
It was great. Thank you again, Devin. This was fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day, waking up early to talk with us.
My stream is supposed to start at 9 a.m. So ironically, this is like one of the oldest streams we've actually done on time because you guys got me up. So thank you very much. My chat actually thanks you for this because we're actually here at the right time.
Well, fantastic. Well, we'll let you go so you can get on with the rest of your stream.